waters off the Red Sea. And today, as then, we stand the watch together, delivering maritime dominance and extending America power from sea to shore. In January, the President gave us a clear charge: defend the homeland, deter aggression, project strength through an all-domain integrated force. And that's exactly what we've been doing day in and day out. Across every ocean and every contested region, our Navy Marine Corps team is leading from the front, reassuring allies, restoring deterrence, and responding with precision and resolve when called. And you have just shown the world that American sea power is not just a concept, it's an unmatched capability. And you, all of you, our sailors and Marines, are the competitive edge, the enduring advantage that no adversary can match. Today, we were able to get a glimpse into why the Navy and Marine Corps team operates as a joint force all to itself. You showcase why our amphibious forces remain vital to winning future conflicts. And this is just the beginning of what we can become. We are the operational overmatch. Agile, persistent, and expeditionary, we bring unrivaled combat flexibility, delivering force and options from sea to the fight on our terms and on our timeline. I want to close by thanking all of you and your families for your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment. You make our team what it is. It is an honor to serve with you. Thank you, and Semper Fortis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Commandant of the U.S. Marine Corps, General Eric Smith.
American soldier and American, beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take the stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight.
Hoorah, Marines! Get some! Hoorah! That never gets old, does it? That never gets old. Good afternoon, Marines, sailors, family, friends, Vice President Vance, Secretary of War Hegseth, Secretary of the Navy Failen, my shipmate, the CNO, elected officials, distinguished guests, far too many to name. What a day. What a perfect amphibious day. And what a sight to behold. What I'm talking about is you. I'm not talking about the equipment, I'm not talking about the ships, I'm talking about you, the Marines, because that's who we are. That's what we're all about. We're about the individual Marine, because that's who wins battles. That's who wins wars. Before I begin, I want to thank those who made today's demonstration possible, especially the phenomenal team here at Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton and the Marines and sailors of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force and the 3rd Fleet. From the first aircraft overhead to the final wave on the beach, you showed what American amphibious strength looks like in action. You do not want to be on the receiving end of that bunch of ass whooping. You do not. If you're an adversary, hoorah. If you're an adversary and you want to have your butt kicked, then mess with the Marine Corps, because we'll do it. We'll do it for you. I also want to thank our many distinguished guests and civic leaders for joining us in the celebration this afternoon. You know, if you go to Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, North Carolina, or if you go to Marine Corps Air Station New River, it says, "Pardon our noise, that's the sound of freedom." Well, pardon our noise today, that's the sound and look of freedom. That's what it takes to get you free. Thanks as well to our national leadership for standing alongside your Marine Corps as we mark this historic milestone, 250 years young. The first 250. The next 250 are going to be even tougher than the first 250, and there's going to be more fights ahead, but we'll overcome all obstacles because we're Marines. That's what we do. We don't know how to fail. Finally, thank you to our military families, whose strength, patience, and sacrifice make everything we do possible. You serve this nation alongside your Marines and sailors, and your support is the foundation of our readiness. For 250 years, our Corps has fought and won our nation's battles. Again, we don't know how to lose. We're Marines. Founded even before our formal independence as a country, we were created as an expeditionary force in readiness, always faithful to the nation we serve. From muskets to missiles, wooden ships to amphibious combat vehicles, and signal flags to satellites, the tools of our trade have changed, but their purpose has not. We remain America's naval expeditionary force, ready to respond and ready to win. Today, we witness the power of the Navy and Marine Corps team through our premier force offering, the Amphibious Ready Group and Marine Expeditionary Unit, employing combined arms to deliver decisive effects and compel the enemy to do our will, to do what we want to have happen, not what they want to have happen. But none of what you saw, the precision fires, the air assault, the seamless integration of firepower, none of that means a thing without the Marine behind it, without the Marine behind his M4, without the Marine sitting in the vehicle, driving it, without the pilot flying the aircraft. It is all about the Marine. It's all about you. The strength of the MAGTF lies in its Marines. Their warrior ethos and core values strengthen us and sustain us during difficult times. It is the Marine, resolute beneath our nation's flag, who carries the day every time. Honor, courage, and commitment are the living code of a Corps that endures because of uncompromising standards. Standards that guide us in our purpose, unite us in battle, and bind us across generations. From Bellawood to Iwo Jima to Ramadi and Fallujah and Helmand Province, we're still the same. We're a Corps of Marines. We are a band of warriors dedicated to the defense of this nation. The Marines here today are cut from the same cloth as those who seized Tarawa, withstood the cold of Korea, and fought through the streets of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan. And the next fight is coming. Trust me, it's coming. Across battlefields, our character has never wavered. Just as the nature of war, the clash of wills, the test of fortitude, the demand for discipline remains the same. To our Marines here today and around the world, I could not be more proud of you. Sergeant Major Ruiz and I have the easiest jobs in the Marine Corps. We get thanked every day, and yet you do all the work. Our jobs are easy. Your jobs are hard. We don't pay you enough. You don't have all the equipment that you need, but you still get the job done. Why? Because we're Marines. That's what we do. That's all we do. We do war fighting. We do America's war fighting. You remind us that our power is not found in steel or armaments, but in the faith we keep with one another. You are our most valuable asset. No modernized ship, vehicle, or weapon system can replace the sheer will, determination, or grit of a U.S. Marine. It is you who will close with and destroy the enemy. To locate, close with, and destroy the enemy, or repel the enemy's assault by fire and close combat. Close combat. That's what we do. It is you who will seize the objective and seize the day. It is you who will win our nation's battles. This is why I have absolute confidence in the future of our Corps, today, tomorrow, and for the next 250 years. When the next fight comes, and sadly it will come, Marines will be ready. Ready to fight, ready to win, because that is who we are. That is what we do. It is all that we do. We're warriors. That's all that we do. We are America's crisis response force. We're the 911 force. We're the people who go out the door at 0:30 to get our mission done, to accomplish it on behalf of the American people, to stick a bayonet in the heart of our adversaries, just like we did at Bellawood, just like we did at Bladensburg and Chapultepec and Iwo Jima and Inuiatak and Kwajalein and Khe Sanh and Ramadi and Fallujah. That is who we are as a Corps. Never forget that. Never forget that it is up to you to pass on the Marine Corps to the next generation of Marines who are currently in high school or middle school or grade school or just being born. We owe it to them to pass on our heritage and our legacy, unvarnished, untarnished, and sharp as a razor. That's who we are. That's who we've always been. That's who we will always be. We are America's crisis response force. Don't ever forget that, Marines. Be proud of that Eagle Globe and Anchor that you wear tattooed onto your chest. You earned it. Only you can own it. Only a few, a very few, are capable of earning the title Marine. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for stepping up to serve when so many couldn't or wouldn't. Thanks for being Marines. Hoorah, Semper Fidelis.
American soldier and American, beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand when liberty's in jeopardy. I will always do what's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the United States Secretary of the Navy, John Failen.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is an incredible sight. I can't think of anything better than being here with thousands of Marines, sailors, and their families here on Red Beach, celebrating 250 years of the United States Marine Corps, the world's premier expeditionary force. Add to that what we just witnessed, an awesome display of maritime power. It really doesn't get any better. Thank you and well done to every single Marine, sailor, civilian, and partner who made this amphibious demonstration possible. Let's give them a hand. On behalf of President Trump and the Department of the Navy, I want to thank every Marine and sailor across the globe for standing in defense of our nation with honor, courage, and commitment. You carry forward a legacy that began in Tun Tavern in 1775, when a few tough men decided this nation needed a corps of warriors who would always be the first to fight. 2.5 centuries later, that decision still echoes across every battlefield and beachhead where freedom has been tested. Mr. Vice President, thank you for your faithful service and your continued leadership, proving always that once a Marine, always a Marine. Secretary of War Hegseth, thank you for your continued service and for your unwavering advocacy for our sailors and Marines. Thank you as well to the Commandant, CNO, and to our senior Navy and Marine Corps leaders. And to members of Congress, state and local leaders, and distinguished guests, thank you for joining us today and for your continuous support. It is the privilege of my lifetime to stand with you as the 79th Secretary of the Navy, celebrating 2.5 centuries of the United States Marine Corps, the world's finest fighting force. From the frozen hills of Korea to Tripoli, from Bella Wood to Fallujah, Marines have always been raised for the hardest jobs and entrusted with the most consequential fights. From the beginning, the Corps was built on conviction, on the belief that courage and character are the true measure of a warrior. As Major Doug Zembeck said, be a man of principle, fight for what you believe in, live with integrity, lead from the front, be valorous on the field of battle, and take responsibility for your actions. That is what it means to be a Marine, to live by a code that endures long after the battle ends, to serve with honor, and to stand firm when others falter. For 2.5 centuries, that spirit has carried the Marine Corps through every test and every generation, upholding a promise that when freedom is threatened, America will send its very best. And as Secretary of the Navy, I can tell you that promise is alive and strong. The Navy and Marine Corps team remains unmatched, a global force for peace through strength, ready for any challenge, anytime, anywhere. This legacy begins on the yellow footprints at Paris Island, right here in San Diego, and Quantico. That is where discipline takes root, pride is earned, and character is forged. Those qualities are why when the nation calls, Marines answer. They are why allies trust us and adversaries fear us. The line from those footprints to today's formations is unbroken. Marines carry the same courage forged at Guadalcanal, where the 1st Marine Division, hungry and exhausted, refused to quit and proved that grit and discipline win battles. When others said it could not be done, Marines said, "Watch us." Every generation of Marines has found new ways to fight and new tools to wield. Innovation is not a break from tradition, it is the continuation of it. The character of war is changing rapidly, but the character of Marines remains unshakable. The initiative, ingenuity, and grit that carried this force through every battle must drive innovation in every formation. The future belongs to those who adapt faster than the challenge before them. This is a challenge our Marine Corps and Navy team will win. Lieutenant General Victor Krulak once wrote, "Americans believe when trouble comes to our country, there will be Marines, and that when Marines go to war, they invariably turn in performance that is dramatically successful, not most of the time, but always." That trust was earned through action on every battlefield in every era by Marines who proved that excellence is not a slogan, but a standard. That conviction has carried Marines through 250 years of hardship and victory. And what we have seen here today proves it still burns bright. The Corps continues to deliver on its promise to the American people, standing as both the ideal and the standard to which the next generations of Americans can aspire. Because when it matters most, it is not technology or equipment that wins the day, but the dependability, decisiveness, and character of the Marine or sailor who wields it. One of our greatest weapons has always been and will always be the United States Marine. As we celebrate 250 years of the United States Marine Corps, we look forward as much as we look back. We honor not just the Marine Corps history, but its spirit, the unbreakable will that defines every Marine who has ever worn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. The next chapter will be written by Marines, just like you who fight in new domains, face new challenges, encounter new threats. To every Marine here today, thank you for carrying a legacy 250 years strong. You are the embodiment of Semper Fidelis, always faithful to one another, to the Corps, and to the nation we serve. And behind every Marine is a family, a spouse, a parent, a child who stands the watch with you. They endure the deployments, the moves, the missed birthdays, the late night calls, and the endless goodbyes. They are the quiet strength of the Corps, and today we honor them too. To every Marine family here at Camp Pendleton and around the world, thank you. Your sacrifice makes this legacy possible. Bravo Zulu 3rd Fleet, Semper Fi 1 MEF, happy birthday, Marines. May God bless you. May God bless the United States Marine Corps and Navy team, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you. I hope you have a great day today. Thanks.
Come again, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the United States Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
How we doing? Hoorah, Marines! Man, that is beautiful. Let me just say, this might be one of the most beautiful sights I think I've ever seen. In fact, I'm not supposed to say this, really not, but I think you guys might be my favorite. Don't tell anybody. Marines, it's great to see you. It's an honor to be here. Chief, Commandant, Secretary of the Navy, thank you. It's an honor to be at Camp Pendleton. And looking out at these Marines today and the Navy SEALs I had a chance to do PT with this morning. You know, I do PT all around the country now with the troops, and it's turned into Smoke the Secretary. It's clear to me why President Trump says all the time we're the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. Because you are that strength. You are that power. You are that lethality. And you are prepared. And President Trump's going to make sure it stays that way. Being here with you is the perfect way to mark 250 years of the beautiful and beloved United States Marine Corps. President Trump has made our mission clear. We needed clarity, and he provided it. America first. Peace through strength and common sense at every turn. We are the War Department, and you are warriors. The Marine Corps embodies the warrior ethos. You see, when other parts of the department wavered in years past, not anymore, in years past, the Marine Corps stood strong. When other parts of the department wanted to go woke, the Marine Corps stood strong. When other parts of the department wanted to lower standards, the Marine Corps stood strong. You, ladies and gentlemen, are the backbone of the United States military. You always have been, and that's why we're proud to honor you today. 250 years ago, Major Samuel Nichols formed the Continental Marines. The next year, the Marines won the Battle of Nassau, capturing 2 forts from the Brits. Since that day, the very mention of the Marine Corps stirred panic in the hearts of our enemies. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, Marines have been the tip of the spear of our armed forces and the vanguard of the fight for freedom, just as they are right now in the Caribbean. Let's hope the wrong people don't FAFO around there. In the most critical battles our nation has ever faced, it is often Marines, forged by unique traditions and tough as nails training, who land first. And they volunteer to put themselves in harm's way. Thanks to the blood and sweat of men who came before you, every American knows the truth of the phrase. It's not just a phrase, it's a way of life for all of you. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. You see, because I look out at this crowd, I see a lot of different types of faces. The truth is, your diversity is not your strength. It never has been. Your strength is in your unity of purpose. It's in your shared mission. It's in your oath to the Constitution. It's the bond that turns individuals into single-minded fighting units. You see, you are set apart. You're not civilians. You're devil dogs, leathernecks, United States Marines. Hoorah! You are set apart for a distinct purpose. You kill bad guys and break things for a living. You close with and destroy the enemy for a living. And as we mark the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps, take a moment and remember where you are in the great American story. Everybody likes to talk about 1776, and that was a pretty important date. But we're not here without 1775. When Americans were willing to stand up and pick up a rifle and say, "We will live free." That spirit lives in all of you. That story includes heroes like Chesty Puller, Daniel Daly, and our own great Vice President and Marine, J.D. Vance. Take pride in that story and continue making yourselves worthy of that legacy. As the Commandant said so beautifully, standards, discipline, accountability, warfighting, lethality, they live in the Marine Corps. We get a chance to see our Commander-in-Chief fight for all of you every single day. I know because I see it. President Trump appreciates your dedication, your valor, your tenacity, the sacrifices you make and the sacrifices that all of your families make. We know no Marine serves alone. They serve alongside a family. Someone else who understands that is Vice President Vance, who is right there alongside President Trump, who he himself has made the same types of sacrifices that you have. Your Vice President enlisted after high school in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq. Your Vice President knows and shares the dedication of this force, and he represents you always in Washington. I have the honor of getting a chance to watch Vice President Vance day in and day out live the values of the Marine Corps, speak up and tell the truth, have courage, stand alongside President Trump. It's an incredible thing to watch. And as I tell every warrior I meet, our President and Vice President, they have your back. And I promise you, so do I. Support from the top is all I ever wanted when I was a young infantry lieutenant in Iraq, or in Afghanistan, where my boss actually happened to be a Marine. He was tough, he was brave, and a little bit crazy. But I loved him for it. And I knew he would do anything for me. So on behalf of the Department of War, thank you. Congratulations on 250 years of success. And here's to 250 more. I can say to you, we've got 7 little kids in our stead. Not so little anymore, a couple teenagers. Man, I would be proud as a dad if I ever saw one of them put on the uniform of a United States Marine. You serve your country. You make us proud. We have your back. God bless you, God bless our Marines, and may God bless our great republic. Godspeed. Thank you.
Tell it's me by the clamor now, baby. I'd like to tap
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance.
Hoorah, Marines! I didn't hear you. Hoorah, Marines! God bless you, Marines. God bless you, Camp Pendleton. It is so much fun and such an honor to be out here to celebrate 250 years of United States Marines. Now, I gotta say, first of all, thank you to so many of the fine people who are here today who make this incredible event happen and who every day make our military the finest fighting force anywhere in the world. First of all, our great Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who gave a hell of a speech, if I might say so. Pete, where are you at? Now, he is a soldier, but are we proud of our Secretary of War, Marine Corps? Now, I will say, I was talking to Pete about this speech and thinking about what I said, and I realized that over my 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, I probably learned about 100 jokes about United States Marines. And every single one of them, Marines, would mean the end of my political career if I told it up here today. I sent a few of them last night to my communication staff, and I said, "Can I tell this one?" And they said, "Please no, sir. Please, please do not tell that one." We're also happy to be joined by our great Secretary of the Navy, John Failen. John, thank you so much for your leadership and service. I got to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, our great Second Lady, Usha Vance, with the Marine Corps hat. You know, I've been asked many times, why did I want to run for and become Vice President of the United States? And there's a lot of answers, of course, to that question. I wanted to serve our wonderful Commander-in-Chief, President Donald J. Trump, and I know we're proud of him. And of course, I wanted to serve the American people and make their lives better, but really, deep down, I wanted the Commandant of the Marine Corps to have to salute a member of the E4 Mafia, and now he has to. And Marines, we have a great Marine Corps Commandant in General Eric Smith. General, thank you so much for everything you do. We got General Daniel Taylor. Where is General Daniel Taylor? Apparently he was sick today. We have got Admiral Gavin Duff here. Admiral, thank you for your service, sir. We have got Colonel John Caldwell and General Michael Nakanizi. Did I pronounce that right, General? There we go. I did okay. I'm the Vice President, so you can't tell me I'm wrong. And of course, Marines, I bring greetings today from our Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump, and he wanted me to tell each and every single one of you that he's proud of you, that he loves you, and that despite the Schumer shutdown, he is going to do everything he can to make sure you get paid exactly as you deserve. Now, I know we're here to talk about the Marine Corps, but I got to get just a little political because congressional Democrats seem to want to keep the government shut down, even though it would mean that a lot of you would not get your paycheck. But as I told the president just a couple of days ago, I said, sir, we have got to figure out how to pay these Marines, both for their sake, but also, of course, because if we don't pay our enlisted Marines, every bar in Southern California is going to go out of business, and we don't want that. Now, I've also got to give a special shout out to the incredible display that we saw earlier today. It made my heart sing as your vice president, and it was a testament to the Corps' strength and unbeatable power. It reminded me why I am so proud to have worn the uniform, to be one among your ranks, and to be the very first vice president to have been a United States Marine. Now, for us East Coast Marines, Camp Pendleton has always had a special place in our imagination. We heard the stories of the back-breaking hikes you all had to do, the West Coast Marines had to do in Camp Pendleton. You know it? Us East Coast Marines, we had the sand fleas and you all had the hills. I don't know which was worse. These guys behind me have opinions. So let's give some credit to the amazing Marine units who pulled this off. First of all, to the incredible Marines of this base and the Marine Corps Forces West who put on this display. Let's give a round of applause to the incredible job they did. And I want to talk about some of those units because you all made me so proud. I know we must have some Marines from the 1st Marine Division. Where are you? You all did a hell of a job. How about the Marines from the 3rd Marine Air Wing? I know we have some Marines from the 1st Marine Logistics Group, the lifeblood of the fight. Where are you all at? We've also got Marines from the 1st MEF Information Group, the brain of the fight. Where are you all at? And we've also got, of course, men and women from Marine Corps Installations West, the folks who keep the home front. Where are you, Marine Corps Installations West? There we go. Now, I know you all know we cannot leave out our brothers and sisters of the seas, so we're proud to have all the sailors of the Navy's 3rd Fleet here to celebrate 250 years of Marines. Thank you. These sailors who go to war with us, they fight over the horizon. They stand shoulder to shoulder with Marines wherever the fight takes us. And if any group shares in the glory of the Marines' 250th birthday, it is our beloved Navy Corpsmen. Let's give a shout out to the Navy Corpsmen out there. We love them. And I know every Marine has had the story of walking into a corpsman's office, barely alive, suffering the most severe illness you've suffered in your entire life, and they'll say, just go home, hydrate, and take 2 Motrin, and it'll work out just fine. So thank you to the corpsmen for taking care of us, but also toughening us up. And that's right, and it changes socks. A bottle of water, a change of socks, and 2 Motrin will fix any illness. So we are grateful, Marines, to be graced with the presence of some very special guests, people whose very lives contribute to the incredible Marine Corps legacy. Earlier, we all heard from Sergeant Dakota Meyer, who received the Medal of Honor in 2011 for extraordinary heroism in 2009. Are we proud of Sergeant Dakota Meyer? Yes, we are. And despite the constant rain of enemy fire, then Corporal Meyer made multiple runs across an ambush zone that day. saving the lives of 36 American and Afghan troops. Dakota Meyer, we love you. We're proud of you. You're the very best of the Marine Corps and the very best of this country. We are also honored to be joined by American hero Charles Cram, who was a Navy corpsman attached to the 5th Marine Division when it landed at Iwo Jima. Now, as part of that force, this American hero watched the Stars and Stripes raised over Mount Suribachi before being wounded on the 7th day of battle while tending to a Marine. For his valor, he was awarded the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and the Purple Heart. Sir, we love you. Thank you for your service. The Marines love their corpsmen, and that's one of the very best. Another living legend we have with us today is Elmer Royce Williams, a naval aviator who, while on combat patrol in the Korean War, suddenly found himself up against 7 Soviet MiGs. Sir, thank you so much. God bless you, and thank you. Now we're going to let the brave lieutenant take a seat, but I got to talk a little bit about him. I got to brag on him, because despite the odds, Lieutenant Williams took down 4 of them in a single 35-minute dogfight, the longest dogfight in naval history, a record, I believe, that still stands to this day. Hoorah! Now, not only did he take 4 MiGs down, he demolished the MiG's reputation as an unbeatable aircraft and secured his place among the legends of American military aviation. And if you notice, we just talked about a great Marine in ground combat, a great Marine in aviation combat, and a great Marine, or I should say a great Navy corpsman who helps out our Marines. In other words, Marines can kick ass in every theater of combat, and we do it every single day. And I finally got to give a shout out to my dear friend, recently retired Master Sergeant Charles McKelvey. Chase, where are you at, man? Love you. Oh, he's got a beard already. Look at that. He's been out of the Marine Corps for 3 months. He's already got a beard longer than what I got. Now, Master Sergeant McKelvey and I served together at Cherry Point when we were both very young Marines, and we've been good friends ever since. I call him Chase. Other Marines will tell you Chase is an extraordinary person, the smartest, kindest Marine you'll ever meet, and those are descriptions I can personally attest to. Now, he was supposed to join me at my inauguration to become the Vice President last January, but tragically he lost his wonderful, devoted wife, Jillian, to a terrible illness just days before. So I want to tell you, Chase, in front of all these Marines, we're proud of you. We're thankful for you. I'm sorry I couldn't see you in January, but I'm glad to see you today, my friend. I love you. Semper Fi. And finally, we are grateful to have all of you, whatever your rank, whatever your station in the Marine Corps, here at Camp Pendleton to commemorate this incredible 250th anniversary of our beloved Marine Corps. From these mountains and this water, Marines have deployed to every major fight of the last century, from island hopping across the Pacific to Vietnam's Hue City to Kuwait to Helmand and beyond. And standing here, you can feel the weight of that history. The generations upon generations of Americans who cut their teeth at this base before boarding ships and carrying the American flag into battle. But that's exactly what Marines do. For 2.5 centuries now, this beloved Corps has served as our nation's sharp edge, always forward deployed, always ready, and always faithful. My service in the Marine Corps was a huge part of my life. I would not be here today. I would not be the Vice President of the United States. I would not be the man I am today were it not for those 4 years that I served in the Marine Corps. Now, before I was enlisted, I was pretty terrified about the prospect of becoming a Marine. I'm sure that a lot of you can share that. I remember I had nightmares before I went to boot camp of drill instructors yelling at me, of being away from my family, of being constantly stretched well beyond my own physical limits. It's daunting stuff, as all of you know. And as anyone who survived boot camp can tell you, it's all real. But my cousin Rachel, in particular, one last shout out to a former Marine. In particular, she pushed me to do it. A veteran of the Corps herself, she got it. She understood what joining does for a young man or a young woman. So she pushed me to go and talk to a recruiter, which I did, and I will never forget that conversation. Because at no point did he try to sell me on the United States Marine Corps. He warned me, he said, "You don't enlist in the Marine Corps to make money," and you all know that's exactly right. He said, "You might even go to war." This was back in 2003, right after we invaded Iraq. But what he did tell me is that enlisting in the Marines would teach me many things, including discipline and the virtue of leadership. And that was appealing to me, and I know it's appealing to Marines today and for every year of our 250-year history. Hoorah! But over the days that followed, what further dawned on me was that I needed to do this not just for me, but for the nation. My country needed me just as sure as the country needs each and every one of you today. The September 11th attacks had occurred barely a year earlier. And as I weighed what enlisting would mean, the crisis in Iraq was becoming a full-out war. So I made the call. As an 18-year-old senior in the state of Ohio, it was one of the first times in my life that I recall feeling like the country actually needed me. And when I realized I had a responsibility to something so much greater than myself or even my family, and I had an obligation to act on that feeling of duty. And I know that's something that animates every single one of you, whether you're a private or a general. That spirit of service has been the spirit of the Marine Corps for 2.5 centuries. So I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, from one Marine to another, from the Vice President of the United States to the whole Marine Corps, thank you for your service. We are proud of you and proud of your service. And I'm here today because I want to talk a little bit about the great Marine Corps tradition, 250 years of it. I want to talk about the tradition that all of us standing under this bright California sun, and man, it is bright, we all chose, however many years ago, to adopt that Marine Corps tradition as our own. A tradition in that just 3 short weeks will reach its 250th year. Now, as many of you in this audience know, the Corps found its origins in the autumn of 1775. And a venue may be familiar to you, a bar in Philadelphia called Tun Tavern. The very first bar in the United States of America that would come to regret serving United States Marines. So here we are in Tun Tavern almost 250 years ago. And what we did in that moment was we answered the call of service. Because even before we had a Declaration of Independence, the Continental Congress organized an army and a navy to fight the British, but they recognized they needed something a little bit extra. They needed a force that could fight just as comfortably on land as it could on sea, that was able to move fast, strike hard, and hold its ground. So on November 10th, 1775, Congress resolved to raise 2 battalions of Continental Marines. Captain Samuel Nicholas established that first recruitment drive at Tun Tavern in Philadelphia in search of a few good men. He was seeking young, able-bodied citizens, men who relished the opportunity to fight tyrants, yes, but more importantly, who were eager to answer that first call of duty of a young nation. Just a few months later, Captain Nicholas was personally leading those Marines in a daring raid on New Providence, receiving British forts and supplies in the Bahamas. And 2 short years later, the Marines joined forces with the legendary John Paul Jones, the father of the American Navy, beginning a great tradition that has survived the entire term of our Marine Corps, that when the Marines and the Navy go to war together, they always fight well and they always win. The War of Independence set a blueprint that Marines follow to this day. Boldness in action, unity in purpose, and a lightning readiness to go wherever the nation required. In battle after battle, the United States Marine Corps has broken the backs of empires, you've toppled tyrants, you've hanged pirates, and hunted down America's foes across the 7 seas. And Pete, turns out we're hunting some pirates today, aren't we? From Tripoli to the halls of Montezuma, from Bella Wood to Iwo Jima, and from Chosin Reservoir to Khe Sanh, we Marines have repeatedly earned our reputation as the first to fight and the last to leave. And as all of you know, that legacy only grew stronger after 9/11. Within weeks after the attack, the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit, the 15th MEU, already forward deployed on September the 11th, helped launch the most ambitious amphibious assault in the history of the United States of America. And that's just how Marines are wired. No matter where, no matter when, the Corps will always uphold its reputation for discipline and for unshakable focus. Now, I always think back to what Army Major General Frank Lowe had to say this about the Corps in 1952. The safest place in Korea was right behind a platoon of Marines. Lord, how they could fight, and what a great testament to the United States Marine Corps. Because while the world keeps changing, new weapons, new threats, and new ways in which we wage war, the nation will forever need the United States Marine Corps. And in the Trump administration, we know that the work you do, protecting our country, putting your lives on the line to defend our way of life, is at the heart of Marine Corps service. Now, when officials try to shift focus to mandating diversity quotas, or they try to inject partisan politics into the American Armed Forces, they impede the Marine Corps' ability to do its best work, and that's why the Secretary of War and the President of the United States have stood so firmly against that crap. Because when you can't operate at your best on the battlefield, it puts everybody's lives at risk. And it's why we're recentering the focus of all of our military, including the Marine Corps, on those timeless values of discipline, readiness, and faith in one another. Now, I remember when I was a young recruit in boot camp talking about how politically correct things got maybe over the last few years, and I compare it to my time in the Marine Corps. I remember I was lining up as a young recruit to go to church one Sunday morning, and back then there were 2 lines. There was the Catholic line, and there was the Protestant line. And I remember we all get into our lines, and there's one recruit who's just kind of standing there by himself. And you know, the folks watching on TV may not realize that Marines refer to themselves in the third person when they're in recruit training, because you haven't earned the title of United States Marine, and so you have to say, this recruit, instead of I. And so you've got this one recruit standing out there by himself, and the drill instructor says, hey, what the hell are you doing? And the recruit says, this recruit is an atheist. And the drill instructor says, bullshit, get in the Catholic line. That didn't work in the Biden administration, Pete. That didn't work in the Biden administration, but now we recognize that it is not our diversity that makes us stronger. It is our common purpose. It is our common mission. And it is the fact that every single person here bleeds Marine Corps green. And I think that all of you should realize that from the President of the United States on down, this government is proud of you. It's proud of the tradition of the Marine Corps, and it's proud of the fact that that great tradition has custodians in each and every single person here, each and every single Marine who is serving today. And I hope that the proud Marine Corps tradition, you heard Pete talk about this, Chesty Puller, Dan Daly, John Basilone, all of these great Marine Corps heroes, they should inspire you through their action to be the very best Marine in the future that you can be. Now, I remember so many people who made my Marine Corps journey and made the country better in the process. I remember a gunnery sergeant who saved me from financial ruin. I was a young Lance Corporal, and I was going to go to an off-base car dealership and buy a used car with a low dealer-provided interest rate of 22%. These Marines behind me, you aren't supposed to nod your head at that part, guys. No 22% interest rate. So I had a gunny who was like, look, stop being a dipshit and go to Navy Federal Credit Union, get a better interest rate, and then go and buy a car. And that's exactly what I did. I remember that gunny, and I remember a young Marine who was younger than I was. Chase knows who I'm talking about, a Puerto Rican Marine who grew up in New York City. You too, huh? A man I thought I had nothing in common with, but who I learned bled Marine Corps green just like I did, and who came to my inauguration as Vice President of the United States. I remember a Marine I served with, a guy whose political beliefs you might call far left, but despite the craziness of our politics today, remains one of my best friends and is a man I would trust with my life. I remember the Marines raising the flag over Iwo Jima, etching in American memory the importance of respecting and honoring our beautiful national symbol. I remember all my friends from the Marines, men and women, some of whom retired and some of whom made the Marine Corps proud in the civilian world. I remember General Chuck Krulak, who I met at my cousin's boot camp graduation. He was the 31st Commandant of the Marine Corps, and I was probably 14 years old, and I was taller than he was. But he was tough as nails. I met him as Vice President, by the way, just a few months ago. He's still very short, and he's still tough as nails, and he still loves the Marine Corps as much as he did on his first day of service. Now, he had a phrase, I'm sure you guys have heard it. He said that the most important thing the Marine Corps does for this nation is to win battles and to make United States Marines. Today, we remember a fallen Marine from the 3rd Marine Air Wing who died not far from here on a training mission. He died so recently, as a matter of fact, I can't even say his name publicly, but I want all of us to know and send a message to his family that we remember them and we know that his Marine Corps service was not in vain. Let's give a new hoorah for that fallen Marine. I know that all of us remember the friends who went off to war, and we particularly remember the ones who were mangled in combat or who never came home at all. Every single one of you has memories like this. Every single one of you is lucky enough to have friends like mine. Within each of you is your own Marine Corps legacy burning every single day. And because of that, every one of our fellow Marines lives on. As Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, we like Full Metal Jacket, Marines? He said, but the Marine Corps lives on forever, and that means you live forever. Our motto, Marines, is Semper Fidelis, which means in Latin, always faithful. Though the shape of the battlefield will change, our nation will be just fine, so long as fellow Marines just like you remain faithful to that great Marine Corps legacy. My fellow Marines, you have the watch now. You honor that legacy by how you carry yourself in public. You honor it by how you treat your friends and family. You honor it by how you contribute to your communities, and most importantly, you honor it in how you fight and win the nation's battles. So from one vice president to an incredible United States Marine Corps, keep kicking ass, keep taking names. Semper Fidelis Marines, happy 250th birthday. God bless you.
Sacrifice all those nights if I could make the earth and my dreams the same. The only difference is to let love replace all I hate. So let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Secretary of War, Mr. Secretary of the Navy, Admiral Caudle, General Smith, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters in arms, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to today's performance featuring the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps' 5th-generation stealth fighter aircraft, the F-35C Lightning II. Major Shane Clark, call sign Exotic, hailing from Palo